Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and thanks for tuning in to another epic siege battle in Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD. This is a custom scenario thought up by Azrian Fox, who is the defender in this battle, and it's built off of Kingdom Come Deliverance, and this is the Siege of Skalitz. However, for those of you guys that have played the game, you probably recognize that there wasn't much of a siege battle in Skalitz. It was mostly a slaughter. However, we kind of got to thinking what would happen if the Kingdom of Bohemia knew of the approaching Hungarian Cuman forces and were able to muster an army to oppose them. And that's the scenario we're going to play out in today's battle. So we've got King Sigismund of Hungary, also known as the Red Fox, and also brother to King Wenceslas of Bohemia. He has invaded his brother's kingdom with 2 Cuman mercenary forces, so 3 attackers total, versus the 1 Kingdom of Bohemia defender. So hopefully you guys do enjoy, and without further ado, let's get to the army comps. The first army we're going to take a look at in today's battle is the Kingdom of Hungary, and this is commanded by Hamdog CDXX. And as the King of Hungary and the main force, he does have the most elite force, at least for the attackers. So in the back lines, he's got 2 units of late period sergeants, and then 2 units of late period pavesiers. And then he has 2 units of Pavese crossbows and 2 units of archers of the high period. And then he only has 1 Moldavian warrior represented here, but he does have another hidden in the trees. And then he has a few units of the sergeants of the high period as well. And you can see we've got Sigismund of Hungary here, moving forwards. Let's go ahead and turn off the HUD so we can see him slowly moving forward. So he has already prepped the Cuman armies on his plan of attack, basically. And now he's just riding past his forces, ready to rally them to his command to attack the settlement. But, you know, as the Hungarians, they're probably going to send in the Cumans first, and then hopefully clean up what's left of the Bohemian survivors after that point. But he does have some cavalry also. He does have 1 unit over here of the Hungarian Knights of the High Period, and then he has a small force over here as well, with some siege towers that were pushed up. So we've got 1 unit of the Saxon Halberd Militia, and 2 units of the Halberdiers Tier 3. Very, very elite. And then he has 1 other unit over here hidden in the trees of these beautiful-looking Hungarian Knights. So that's pretty much it for the Hungarian forces, so let's go ahead and take a look at the 2 Cuman armies. The second attacking army in today's battle is the Cuman Khanate, and this one is commanded by myself. And I've split up my forces quite a bit to attack 2 different locations of the settlement. But as far as my forces go, I've got 2 units of these Cadogan's Guardsmen and 4 units of the Bay Archers. And then my main forces are moving forwards on the towers, but I have 4 units of Heavy Macemen over on this flank with my Bombard. And the rest of my forces are kind of all mixed in and around. I've got my General's Bodyguard close by here to protect my Bombard, as it's just finishing off the last few towers inside the city. So that's my General's Bodyguard there. And then I've got a few units of cavalry. The Heavy Cossacks, I've got 1 over here and then 1 in this section of the trees. But I have a few more Macemen units over on this flank, which will be attacking a side gate. And my last bit of troops that I have are these axemen that are moving through the trees. But that's pretty much all of my forces, so let's go ahead and take a look at the last attacking army. The third attacking army in today's battle is the Cuman Khanate. Again, a second Cuman army, and this is commanded by DeBoss 11111. And he has a pretty similar force to myself. He's gone with the 4 units of Bay Archers. And he does have a catapult instead of a bombard. And he has a good mix of Macemen, Axemen, but he also has brought a few units of Moldavian warriors, which there's a couple over on this section. He has a couple on the towers as well, but they are hidden in the trees. And then he's gone with a Cossack, heavy Cossack mix as well. So that's them there. And then his general, again, same thing, Master Horse Archer. And he looks pretty much exactly the same as my general does. But there he is there. So that's pretty much it for all the attacking armies. So let's go ahead and take a look at the 1 defender. the one and only defender in today's battle is the Kingdom of Bohemia, and this one is commanded by Azrian Fox, and he has most of his elite macemen and halberdiers in the town center, as you can see, but we'll just take a quick overview of the city and just mouse over some of his units that he is bringing to the battle. He has a decent amount of these pavetiers of the high period here, or pavesiers, depending on how you want to pronounce it, and he has, I believe, 8 units of Pavi's crossbowmen Hussite. So that is going to be a formidable force. Some more pavetier over here. He has brought some early period sergeants, so they're more cheaper melee infantry, but I think he's brought the early period ones just because of their 60 missile block, which is pretty good indeed. And more spears. He has a couple units of high period halberdiers, tier 2, and they're kind of down in the main section of the city to defend. But his best infantry over here, he has I think 5 units of heavy macemen here, which are tier 3, and 3 units of the late period halberdiers. He also has a catapult, which is already firing down on the attacking forces. He has some more crossbows over here as well. And we've got his general's bodyguard here, which would be this gentleman, who actually has a patch over his eye. That's really cool. I did not notice that during the battle. But, yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with this guy, that's for sure. I'd probably give him a wide berth on the battlefield. But the only thing we have to take a look at that still includes Azrian Fox's army is these 5 units of very elite Bohemian cavalry that he has just outside the city walls, waiting for the perfect opportunity to get some good charges off into our men while we're probably moving up the towers or just caught by surprise in general. So yeah, hopefully Azrian Fox can use these to his benefit, but we will find out in the coming battle. So hopefully you guys do enjoy, and without further ado, let's get to it. Alright guys, welcome to the battlefield, and as you can see, the walls have been conquered by the Cuman forces without much resistance from the Kingdom of Bohemia at all. It was probably a good plan, though, considering that Azrian Fox is quite outnumbered in this battle. And you can hear the squeak of my bombards moving up as well. They have used up all their ammunition, but I will be trying to use them to break up some of the pavetier choke points. Blah, I tripped over that twice. But yeah, it's a pretty long battle at about 47 minutes. But let's take a look at the man count here. So we've got 5,890 men versus 4,021. So we basically have a 2,000 man advantage. But here we go. I'm not wasting any time. I'm pushing my macemen quickly into melee. The reason for that being is because a lot of those Bohemian crossbowmen have their sights set on these macemen. Now, the macemen do have a pretty good missile block. I believe it's 80, and then if you can get them into a shield wall, it will be 105. But there we go. A little bit of a pathfinding issue, and I just said goodbye to about 10 of my heavy Cuman macemen. But now they are engaged against the pavetier. And it looks like their shield wall is holding quite effectively, but the crossbows that are up on the ridge are going to be getting some pretty decent shots into my men. But we've pretty much conquered them in the center. We'll zoom out so you guys can take a look at the city. So you haven't really missed anything at all. There's just been the bombardment phase that we have cut out. But this is the second area of the wall that I will be moving in on. The only thing I'm doing is I'm waiting with these 3 units of heavy macemen, because if you take a look here, I do not want to lose my 3 units to these Pavi's crossbowmen. And you can't see their range in the replay, unfortunately, but I could while I was playing, and it comes literally right up to this tower. So if I push my men up onto the walls, they will get shredded for sure. Plus, I've got a very staunch defense over on this side to deal with. But DeBoss 11111, he is moving his forces into the city as well. He has a lot of his heavy macemen lined up and Moldavian warriors, but they are in shield wall, which is good, except for this one unit who is actually facing away. So that is a little bit of a problem. However, I've got my units of macemen in here, and they are also in shield wall. But yeah, getting showered by the Hussite crossbowmen, that is never a good feeling, especially when you need to make your numbers count. Now, I do have my Bay Archers close at hand, but as you can see, I'm actually getting a decent amount of friendly fire. It's not really worth it firing at these spears. I think I do eventually refocus my efforts on the crossbowmen, wherever they may be. I think they are tucked in behind the houses over here. So there is all of the deadly crossbowmen. A big worry for us on the battlefield today, especially considering the amount of crossbows that we have to face. Now, as far as the man count, the 3 attackers versus the 1 defender, we tried to balance it just a little bit to make it a little bit more fair. So Azrian Fox was able to bring 40 units, because this is large armies, and then for us, we only brought 20 units each. So it's actually 60 units to 40 units. But it looks like the boss's catapult crew is in melee against the spear wall of the Kingdom of Bohemia. They're probably not going to get too much done. But I think I do have some heavy macemen close behind. Yes, I do. And they are in shield wall, moving very slowly forwards to get into melee. But I think that I won't be in time to save this catapult crew from breaking. Or maybe I will. Looks like I might just make it. But there is the Cuman rally. The horn signaling the attack, and look at that, we've got some of the Moldavian warriors charging in as well. That's from DeVos's army. So let's go ahead and zoom out and see what's going on the other side. Yeah, but my bombard crew is actually wavering. Azrian Fox was smartly targeting that with his archers because he knows what I like to do with my artillery in breaking the spear wall with them. So he's actually feels like it is necessary to waste his crossbow ammo to rout my bombard crew. And I think they rout and come back like 4 or 5 times, but they do eventually rout without, doing what I had wanted them to do, basically. But it looks like over here, DeVos is going to be putting some pressure on this unit of Paventier over on this little flank. We do have some halberdiers here of the high period, which is a little bit concerning, though. But as you can see, the Kingdom of Bohemia is not moving forwards yet. Like I said, he's more interested in wasting his mercenaries because the less mercenaries he has to pay at the end of the battle, the better. But you can see DeVos, he is actually pushed through the spear wall very smartly and has caught a couple of the units of crossbows in melee. Unfortunately, I was not aware of this and continued to fire on them. Oh, and that was a disgusting volley. Azrian Fox pulling back the 1 unit of crossbows to fire into their backs. But at least for right now, even though they are breaking, they did silence 2 units of crossbows for a couple of minutes. But yeah, they are actually quite depleted from that. This unit of Hussite crossbowmen down to 29 men, this one down to 62. However, we've got a second unit of spears that is formed up just behind the other unit of spears. Their morale is quite low. They do look like they may break soon. But over on my flank, like I said, I've got my Bay Archers over here, and they've got the range on these crossbows. So I am able to continue to fire down on them, and I am focusing this 1 unit of crossbows here just because they have almost full ammo. So if I can completely rout them, that would be a huge blow to the Kingdom of Bohemia's defense. I love these shields, though. They are really nice looking. Look at those shields. All bright and vibrant and colorful. But I don't think I have pressed forwards on this side. I am pretty patient over here. I do have my axemen over here as well. I will bring them in eventually. But my cavalry is hidden in the trees because we were actually aware that there could be some Bohemian knights outside of the city. We've had a couple of Cuman riders that were scouting around in the area, and they had sighted the Bohemian banners in the trees. So we are ever vigilant of that. The Kingdom of Bohemia, the Kingdom of Hungary also aware of that, forming up his halberdiers in a little bit of a defensive formation. But we are kind of just holding here. We're not really being able to move forwards too much. We've got the early period sergeants that will be moving forwards to aid, I think, these spears. But I think I do target them with my Bay Archers. I would rather not have this unit of sergeants able to support the spears. So I will go for them if I can. But luckily they do have a pretty substantial shield block, but once you start to take down their numbers, they should be easier to crack. But Azerian Foxy is aware of that, and I think he will tuck that unit in behind the burned buildings. And hopefully it will survive. Let's go ahead and get a nice zoom in here as the Cumans are cutting down the spears that have almost broken formation now. Their line is really thin, so they're having trouble holding us back. But at the same time, the Kingdom of Bohemia is a very elite army, so we basically only have our numbers. And as Azerian Fox had pointed out, really the only major threat that he has is the Hungarian army itself. Now, mind you, the Cuman Khanate is a very solid faction, especially with the Axemen. They have 5 Pilas that they can throw, so that is a lot of ammunition. Coupled with their heavy macemen, which have an 80 missile block, they are a pretty formidable force. But they don't have any pikes or halberds to speak of. They don't have any crossbows, and a lot of their units are Tier 1 or Tier 2. I think the only thing that they can bring is the Tier 3 Bombard, and that is about it. But let's go ahead and zoom out of there and see how it's going on this other side. It looks like I am actually breaking through. Yeah, these sergeants getting cut down. We've got another unit of early period sergeants that has pushed forwards in shield wall, but they also have lost about half of their unit. And there we go. Just right onto the next shield wall. A lot of friendly fire, though, by myself. I really have to kind of be careful about that. But let's just mouse around the battle and see what's going on. So yes, the other Cuman force, commanded by DeVos, was able to break through this defense here. I'm not actually sure how he got his cavalry around. I think he must have pulled the cavalry through, though, and then was able to charge the spears from behind. But this has caused Azerian Fox to be a little bit more wary about his flank, because he is holding quite decently in the center. However, he has broken over on this side. That leaves his crossbowmen in a little bit of a sticky situation. But we do have some halberdiers that are moving up in the trees over here. I'm not sure if these axemen are going to be moving forwards or not against the halberdiers. But like I said, they do have their Pila, so if they can get a good shot into the halberdiers, that would be huge. Not exactly sure if he's trying to pull them back so they can use their Pila or not. But, oh, some big hits there as the Hussite crossbowmen fire into the backs of the axemen. That is not a good situation for them. And these axemen also, they do not have a very good missile block, so it's kind of best to just get them in melee if you can. But at the same time, do you really want to charge in against the halberdiers? That is probably a suicide mission. Nice battlefield awareness, though, by DeVos 11111. He actually caught these spears, I believe, before they were able to form any kind of spear wall. Yes, he did. So well done there. But it looks like we got a depleted unit of sergeants that's trying to flank around. However, DeVos has his Moldavian warriors over here that will shatter them almost immediately. Azerian Fox now moving forwards his halberdiers at the high period to help aid his spears in this battle. But there's a little too many trees over here, so let's kind of zoom over to this side, see what's going on. Another unit of crossbows has been broken. I'm not certain if this is the same one that I did break before and they came back from routing. But we've got some spears breaking. He's quickly pulling back his crossbowmen. If I had my units up over here, that wouldn't have been possible. But I actually had a little bit of a trouble here. I stopped my siege towers a little too close to the walls, and they were really glitched out. I couldn't get them to move forwards again to the walls for a little while. I actually had to dismount my macemen and then remount them onto the towers, which is really annoying. As you can see, this other tower is going forwards, but this one is not. Still, I'm trying to select it to go onto this wall, but it just would not go. Eventually, it does go, I believe, though, which is good. But Azerian Fox has already kind of been pushed back to his second line of defense. Now, keep in mind that microing against 3 attacking armies is a lot. There is a lot of awareness he needs to have on multiple fronts, so he's doing the best that he can, but unfortunately a couple of his crossbows did get caught out, and those are very key units in a siege battle like this. And just take a look at this as well. These crossbowmen with almost full ammo also really, really depleted. It looks like we got some high period halberdiers that are pulling back. So I'm not sure if he's calling a general retreat or not. But again, the Hungarians still have not moved forwards yet. But we got the cavalry sneaking forwards here. I do have a few of my units over here that are a little bit exposed, but I am going to try as soon as I capture the gate to get them right into the city. And then Azrian Fox will not be able to use this gatehouse because I didn't break it down with a ram. So he will not be able to bring his cavalry in behind us to attack. Over here, though, I pretty much used up all of my ammo on my bay archers, and now I'm having to charge them into melee because they just will not have any other use to me. Let's get a nice zoom in there as more of my units come piling in against this spear wall. And another unit of macemen as well. I'm in a little bit danger of clumping up my forces. I have to be careful with that, but I was really trying to just use my numbers to overwhelm the spear wall. But over here, again, Azrian Fox forming up a pretty solid line of early period sergeants. I do have a few units of archers that are still firing down on them, but like I said, I'm almost out of ammo. And over here, actually, it looks like he's doing quite well against these halberdiers here. I think it's because a couple of their flanks are exposed to enemy archer fire. That's exactly what it is, actually. You can see the units on the end over here getting focused down by the axemen with their pila. So yeah, that is causing some concerns for the halberdiers, and it looks like actually they have broken. And I'm not sure, Azrian Fox, it looks like he's moving another halberdier unit up here, but it is just getting melted away by those axemen. Especially the high period halberdiers, I don't believe that they have a very good missile block. So having them sitting here and not in melee is not a good thing. Although, again, Azrian Fox is trying to micro. Oh! Trying to micro against 3 attacking armies. And that halberdier unit is going to try and get away with maybe half its unit left. And the axemen are close behind on their tails. Let's take a look, actually, at how many men that halberdier unit lost. Yeah, so they are down to about half strength, which is just crazy. Luckily for Azrian, though, these towers are still active, and they are firing down on the axemen who are moving into melee, but DeBoss really helping me out on this flank by flanking around the Pavensier over here. The halberdiers have moved back, but they haven't moved back far enough, so I'm hoping Azrian will move them behind this other unit of high period halberdiers. But we have finally moved on to assault here. We've got the crossbows on the walls, but it doesn't look like they're firing as of yet. I hope that Azrian does turn them on fire at will very soon, because this is a perfect opportunity to fire into the backs of my macemen. Or maybe he's saving his ammo for later, I'm not exactly sure. Well, let's zoom down into this fight. It is a slow grind. Let's keep tabs on the cavalry. Oh, where is the cavalry? Excellent. Okay, let's put this on slow motion here. And yes, it looks like the cavalry has gone after the Hungarian knights over here. We've got the Hungarian knights fighting the Bohemian knights. This unit is kind of free to roam around. It looks like Hamdog has put his, one of his halberdier units in square formation, which is good against cavalry. But this unit of halberdiers is slowly moving forwards. We actually have the Hungarian king over here chasing off some of the Bohemian knights as well. But it looks like the Bohemian knights are going to be able to get out of range. I'm not sure. It looks like they might actually be caught by the Hungarian king. Yeah, it looks like them catching the Bohemian knights, so very surprising there. But I'm not sure if Azerian Fox is going to continue to try to run them away. This unit of knights here is not really doing too much, but we've actually got a knight unit that has run across the siege towers and are actually attacking the sergeants of the Hungarian king while they are trying to climb the tower.
Their tower has been destroyed. This bodes well.
So the Hungarian knights trying to climb down. There we go. A nice charge by the Hungarian knights of the High Period, locking in these Bohemian knights. And the sergeants are climbing down the tower to deal with the Bohemian knights. But Azerian Fox has effectively stopped this tower from getting to the walls. Albeit that there is another tower right there that is allowing Hungarian sergeants inside the city. So it may have been a failed attempt. I'm not exactly sure what the pros and cons of that would have been. But regardless, we do have Hungarian sergeants inside the city, and the gatehouse is theirs as well. So now Hamdog is going to be able to pressure the flanks of Azerian Fox, and Azerian notices that, and he's going to be getting his Hussite crossbowmen out of there. On this flank, though, I've got most of my units inside the city unscathed. A couple of them getting some shots by the Hussite crossbowmen in the town center. But we are just capturing this little position here to give us a battlefield-wide morale bonus. And over here, I have pushed forwards. Let's go ahead and put this on play. I have pushed forwards through the spear line to engage these crossbows in melee as well, who, again, have a lot of ammo still left. See what's going on over here. I think the Hungarian sergeants moving in against the halberdiers. Whole Bohemians for Wenceslas. I can't imagine how betrayed I'd feel to have my own brother come from another neighboring kingdom, and a bigger kingdom at that, because Hungary was a very big power at that time period. Granted, Bohemia probably was as well, but like, how betrayed would you feel if like your brother came with a massive army with Cuman mercenaries as well and just started like slaughtering, you know, burning your cities and slaughtering your inhabitants and such. Granted, Wenceslas wasn't a very good king, but at the same time, like, it'd be his kingdom, man. Here we go, some more macemen pushing forwards here. So Dabas and Hamdog are kind of tag-teaming this defense here of the halberdiers of the High Period. But I think we have some crossbows or archers in range over here. We've got the archers of the High Period from Hungary, who were getting some pretty good flanking shots on that halberdier unit. And over here, we've got sergeants of the early period holding back over on this side. And Azerian Fox is using this early period sergeant unit to hold us here so that we wouldn't flank around and break this unit, but it looks like it's already happening anyways. And now this unit of spears with the crossbows is pretty much out of luck as well. However, it looks like two units of the Bohemian Knights have moved out of that engagement against Hungary and are hidden in the trees, so we'll see what happens there. The Hungarian Knights doing a couple of reconnaissance sweeps through the forest to see if they can track down any of these surviving Bohemian Knights. But yes, the halberdiers of the Kingdom of Bohemia cracking quite quickly. They managed to get 131 kills there, though, which is pretty solid. Well, let's go ahead and jump into this fight here and see what happens. Let's just end zoom here. And this early period sergeant unit, I was very impressed with. They hold and hold and hold. No matter the onslaught of the Cumans, no matter how many of them are pushed against this early period sergeant unit, they hold. Look at that, it's lost one man so far. And I've got some of my Cumans guardsmen. There is DeBoss's heavy macemen, DeBoss's Moldavian warriors, my heavy macemen. And this is a very effective holding strategy here by Azrian Fox. But he still has his best troops still left. And he should still probably have some catapult ammo. Yeah, he has about 3/4 of his catapult ammo left. He's got his general up here, and it looks like he managed to get 2 units of crossbows with these 3 units of depleted crossbows. But he still has quite a bit of ammo in them. But at 26 minutes, we're already assaulting one of the choke point roads up to the town center. And the balance of power is still heavily in our favor. We have 4,000 men. He's down to 1,800. So we have a 2,200 man advantage so far. And we're already pushing into the center. And here we go. Looks like we got some of the elite halberdiers moving forwards. Now, these are the late period ones, so they do have a little bit better of a missile block, but not by much. I think that the halberdiers' missile block is like 40s, so it's really not that solid. And what else do we got going on here? Let's see what the Hungarians are doing. Yeah, so looks like Hamdog has his archers kind of perched up on this slope, and they will be firing up and over either at the macemen or at the halberdiers that have pushed forwards to help the spear wall. But check this out. My Cumans guardsmen have broken. DeBoss is trying to push his troops forwards to get a morale debuff for this unit of sergeants, but oh my goodness, the crossbow fire is just relentless over here. Just brutal. Look at that. The early period sergeants are cheering right now, even though most of them are still in melee. But I think that's cracked almost all of our forces. Look at that. So we've got the sergeants here that are pretty much victorious against 4 units of Cumans, which is amazing. But I've got all of my axemen lined up, and as I said before, they have their Pila throw there, so I think we will be able to throw into them very shortly. I'm just waiting for the last of my Cumans guardsmen to get out of the way so that we do not have an issue with the being obstructed or anything. But it looks like some more units have moved forwards. We've also got some of the heavy Cossacks trying to charge into them as well. And yes, that is DeBoss's heavy Cossacks there. And I do have my cavalry over here plus my general, but I am still unaware of these 2 units of Bohemian knights that have moved around to this other gate. Oh, here we go. Some big catapult shots over here into the Hungarian halberdiers. That was a massive shot. I love that, like, chant that they do as they move up, like, huh, huh. So now we've got some more halberdiers in melee against the spear wall and halberdiers of Azrian. But not a lot of Cumans left, that's for sure. We are struggling on our flanks over here, as you saw before. But there we go. I got a nice Pila throw into these sergeants and then charged right in. And their numbers have dropped to less than 30 men, so they should be breaking very, very soon. But unfortunately, this is pretty much all that I have left. I have my units of axemen, but that's about it. If you look at the yellow on the battlefield, it's these 4 units of axemen and 2 units of depleted heavy macemen for me. And for DeBoss, he's got a couple of heavy macemen units that are still in reserve, but not that many of them. I think like 4 or 5 maximum. But yeah, look at this. These heavy macemen for the Kingdom of Bohemia have taken a massive amount of casualties, and they have 0 kills, so they weren't even in melee. Ooh, some big explosive hits there as well. So really not looking good for Azrian. He just has nowhere to run with his elite units, unfortunately. Now that he's given up most of the city, we can kind of just set up and fire at him for as long as we wish, basically, for as long as we have ammunition. But there is a bloodbath on this slope, that is for certain. Look at all of these units here that have died from the catapult fire as well. But he still does have quite a few units of very elite units. Quite a few units of very elite units, wow. Quite a few very elite units, we'll say. But we've got a double halberdier hold over on this side, and my axemen have moved forwards. I am trying to set them up here so that I can get a good pila throw. But because the heavy macemen are in melee, all of my axemen are obstructed at this point. And I think I do try to move them out of the way so we can get a couple of volleys in. But the spears, immediately upon disengaging, they have formed a testudo, and the halberdiers are getting out of there. There we go, but yeah, well done on Azrian. Really blocking, oh man, a couple of friendly fires there, but really blocking a lot of those pila shots with his spear wall. And I think this is when I kind of just go for it and just charge the rest of my infantry back into this very heavy spear wall. The halberdiers actually aren't even in melee. There we go. So they're moving forwards into melee, and they will probably rout most of my forces here. The axemen are not that good in melee, if we take a look at their stats here. 18 melee attack, 20 melee damage, and missile block 25. So, not the best. I mainly got them for their pila. But over here, the Kingdom of Hungary is faring much better than myself. And again, just using his archers to soften up this defense before he moves in. These macemen look awesome, though. I love the Bohemian macemen. I guess they probably would be the same as, I think the Hungarians can have macemen too. I can't really remember. Ooh, just overhead there. That was crazy. Just missing the macemen. But it looks like we've got a little bit of a hiatus here, so let's kind of take a battlefield overview. So my general has come forwards as well, my master horse archer. I'm going to try and skirmish some of these halberdiers from afar. But it looks like, DeBoss's Bay archers getting hit pretty hard by the catapult fire as it rolls down the hill. As far as the man count goes, it's 2,500 to 1,300 men. So now we only have a 1,200 man advantage, whereas before we had a 2,200 man advantage. So it is getting much, much closer. And as you can see, Hamdog is pretty much the only one who has a substantial force left. We've got DeBoss's general moving into the city as well, but this is all of Hamdog's best units. And we've got some of the high period Hungarian knights moving in as well. But check this out. We've got these Bohemian knights sitting here, and if you guys are thinking he can't get back into the city, well, he can, because DeBoss actually destroyed this gate here. And it is owned by the Cuman Khanate, so he may have taken some damage from oil. But if you check the gatehouse with oil damage, it's only at 78. So he may still take some damage as he rides into the city. But if he goes fast enough, I don't know. If he runs real fast, maybe he'll miss it. But again, the Cumans just blobbing up their forces, really trying to break into the spear wall. The Pavizier are holding with 25 kills, and they've only taken 17 losses so far. And we have a unit of heavy macemen just in behind to move in at a moment's notice. I love that rally, though. That is epic. Push, man, push. Push into the spear wall. Let's see what's going on over here. Looks like we've got another engagement. I think this is some of DeBoss's forces over here. Yep, charging his Bay archers into melee. They have used up their ammo. Plus, we have a unit of Hungarian halberdiers, but they are wavering. So well done there by the Bohemian macemen, driving back the attackers once more on this flank.
They're not done yet.
And check this out. I think this is my general here, but I don't notice that he's actually in range of some of the Hussite crossbowmen, and I think I do take a fair few losses over here. Yeah, see a couple of them being shot on. But I am actually getting some fire back into the macemen, which is good. However, they are in shield wall, so I'm really not getting many kills. But here we go. Check this out. We've got the Bohemian Knights in melee against my heavy Cossacks here. We've got a unit of heavy Cossacks from DeBoss coming in as well to help out. But this unit has pretty much moved back into the city. And DeBoss is pretty aware of this, though. He does have his Bay archers firing on the Bohemian Knights as they tried to come in and get a good charge off. So it looks like they're going to have to withdraw from that section and maybe find a better place to come in at. Oh, a little bit of a pathfinding glitch there. But yeah, these Bohemian Knights should be able to hold for quite some time, even against the overwhelming numbers, and this unit is going to hopefully get some good charges. We've got some heavy macemen over here that are facing the wrong way, and DeBoss does not have them in shield wall either. So this might actually be a very valid target for those heavy knights.
This is shameful.
I'm kind of interested to see if that's what he's doing. It doesn't look like that's where he's going, though. Interesting. He may be going over to these Bay archers here. But I think this is my last unit of infantry, this depleted unit of axemen. I moved them back to try and fire the last of their pila. But I'm pretty much out of the game now, except for my cavalry over here and my general's bodyguard, who is actually down to half strength now. Oh, pause this. Let's see. Let's see this hit here. So we've got a lot of the elite Hungarian units coming out. So let's put that on slow motion. Yeah, some big hits. Everyone hitting their mark here against Hungary. So well-placed attacks there by the Bohemians. These Provinciers have lost over 20 men. This unit losing almost 20 men. This unit 25 men. And a couple of their crossbows are depleted as well. So a big hit there by the catapult. And where did these Bohemian Knights go? They are coming over here, so they may actually be able to catch these in melee. And it looks like the shield wall is trying to be formed, but I don't think it's going to be formed well in time. Yeah, and a lot of the heavy macemen being pushed right back. Really good charge. I don't even know if they were able to form that. Yeah, they finally did get that formation, but the Bay archers are now susceptible to attack. So there's a lot of use that can come out from one unit of knights like this. And oh yeah, my general is dead. That's a sad thing, but you guys pretty much knew I was out anyways. Oh, and another big hit. Oh, into that unit of macemen as well, who was actually running forwards, not in shield wall at all. A huge hit there on the heavy macemen. Unfortunately, though, these Bay archers, they have stopped wavering and are now firing into the backs of the Bohemian Knights. A valiant charge, though. A valiant charge. But now DeBoss has kind of locked them in with his unit of heavy Cossacks, and that cavalry will die. But I think I'm down to one unit of my heavy Cossacks. The other unit was broken by this Bohemian Knight unit. And I'm trying to pull my knights out of there because I want to save my last and only unit on the battlefield, but they start to waver as soon as I pull them out, which was a little frustrating. So I just go ahead and charge them right back in. Might as well go out in a bit of glory, and that was the most deflated charge I've ever seen. Well done there, Cuman. Well done, Cuman horsemen. Still have 43 men, but with my general being dead, it probably doesn't look that good for me. Got a unit of heavy macemen over here still trying to break this flank, but this flank looks to be the one that's going to hold the best. The one that Adrian should be worried about is the one over here against the Hungarians, but luckily he does have quite a few units of elite halberdiers and macemen still left. And there we go. Actually, the halberdiers charging right into melee, which is not good. They didn't get their formation set before they moved in. So it looks like they are going to disengage, but unfortunately that opens them up to a lot of enemy crossbow fire. You can see the macemen also dropping like flies. Oh, some big explosive rounds into the halberdiers as well, right over the heads of the macemen. Oh, we got a little 1v1 over here. I love 1v1s. Oh, yes, the Kingdom of Bohemia victorious in that battle. But here come the pride of the Hungarian army. Especially these crossbows, too. That is going to be very difficult. You can see we've got this, well, Hamdog has this L formation here with his spears, so that if we do have some units that do charge down at the crossbows, they're going to have to be fighting on two flanks. Oh man, I'm not looking forward to these crossbows firing at those heavy macemen. Oh yeah, a lot of them falling down there.
I'm your command.
As you guys know, I usually root for the underdog here, but it's looking pretty grim for the Kingdom of Bohemia at this point. You guys gonna be firing anytime soon, or looks like you're poised and ready?
Attack! Attack!
Come on, get another good volley into them. No, nothing. Watch, I'm gonna start to go away and they're gonna fire.
Forget the enemy!
Oh, maybe not. Oh, looks like they're just charging into melee. We've got the halberdiers moving up as well. So I think that we're feeling pretty confident at this point. We're just going to charge our crossbows right into melee, but it's 1,400 men to 880, so basically 1,400 to 900. So only a 500 men advantage now. Adrian Fox really clawing back here. The only problem is he's lost his catapult. Even though it has 388 kills, unfortunately it is out of ammo. And we have some of the final units from DeVos's Cuman force charging in to these spears here. But we've got a unit of heavy macemen here just in time to mitigate any of them from passing through that spear wall and maybe flanking around his other forces. Yeah, pretty much just trying to throw anything at that other flank so that Adrian Fox isn't able to focus all of his units over on this side. But it looks like we do have one unit of crossbows still firing over here, even though one is in melee. And we've got some of the late period spears moving forwards. They are in a stationary testudo. And we've got the sergeants of the late period charging through the ranks there to engage the maceman halberdier combo that Adrian has set up here. But this is a lot of men just packed so tightly in this little, like, 100-foot by 100-foot square here. It's actually a nice screenshot there. So much shiny. See if we can see some kill animations here. We've basically got Bohemia's best versus Hungary's best here, so. But unfortunately, it looks like for every one Bohemian, there is two Hungarians. I love that, though, how you can see the Bohemian units moving backwards into the halberd wall, which is giving, I think it's giving them basically the edge. But a lot of them trying to push through this halberd line, but a lot of them getting slaughtered. Oh, some big hits, and yeah, look how thin that halberd line is now, and they are just breaking through on all sides. We've got the catapult over here. I don't know what Adrian was planning to accomplish, but I don't think it's going to work now that his halberdiers are wavering. Yeah, it looks like he's going to try and run his catapult crew away. And he does have a couple units of crossbows still left. This unit of Hussite crossbowmen is going to try and hold over on this flank. Unfortunately, these crossbows can't form shield wall. That would have been great for him if they could. But yeah, we've got this Bohemian Knight unit over here just staring down this Hungarian Knight. 14 in the Hungarian Knights, 25 in the Bohemian Knights. They're shaken. They are confident, so sure we'll see them moving forwards very soon. But this is it, guys. Look at the city. Everything that we have is now pushing forwards into the town center. So this is a very, very close battle, albeit that is a 3 versus 1. And 1,000 men to 600, so about a 400-man advantage now. Very, very close battle so far. And wow, here comes the last of DeMoss's forces trying to peel around the flanks. And unfortunately, Azrian, he just doesn't have any more units. As you can see, this unit of macemen is quickly going to the other side because he doesn't really need too many more units to fight over here. But the only thing is this maceman unit is quite a distance away. But it looks like this unit of macemen is bravely holding back what's left of our forces. And we've got the King of Bohemia moving forwards, Janjitska? And here we go. It looks like Hamdog is trying to move his crossbows up onto the walls. Basically what I think he's trying to do, or what I know he's trying to do, is to get them onto the walls, and then you can actually be very cheeky and then get them to go around the macemen that are holding. So it's just utilizing the pathfinding to the best of your advantage. What he didn't count on, though, is that general's bodyguard coming in. And I'm going to get a zoom in for this. This is probably going to be a disgusting charge. Oh. Actually, not too bad. Not too bad. A lot of the crossbowmen actually escaping a decent charge there by the general. And the general actually now caught in melee, which is not good. He needs to force his macemen over onto this flank to help out a little bit. But there, the general is pulling out a melee, which is a very risky move. He has to be careful. He's already lost 14 men, I believe, in that one charge. But thankfully, this other unit of macemen is here to protect their brothers-in-arms flank. But the crossbow is still trying to push forwards to break the morale. And over here, it looks like we have a unit of sergeants in the high period trying to flank around, but I think the crossbows will probably break them with one good volley. Or actually, the general's bodyguard just going to charge in and finish them off. Yeah, that was a pretty solid charge there. And are they broken? They're wavering. They're wavering. Yep, there they go. And here we go. We've got another flank by the general's bodyguard, the Hungarian king. So Sigismund is back over here to try and support his men, but that was a huge charge there by the general's bodyguard. And it looks like he's going to try and pull out right away, but Hamdog is going to be right on his tail with some of those spears. Let's get an end zoom of them trying to escape there. Some of the units that were knocked down able to get up, which is good. But there is Sigismund. If we zoom right in, you can see him there. Just keeping his men in line. I'm sure a lot of them are starting to get some second thoughts about taking Skalitz. Another unit of sergeants in the late period coming around. Now the balance of power is still really very much in our favor, but down to 300 men as far as the advantage goes. Looks like these spears are starting to break, though. The halberdiers are not in melee right now, so if he does push them forwards, he may be able to save those spears from breaking. But this general definitely has luck on his side because he's charged in and pulled out of combat like 3 times. But there we go, he has finally died. So very unfortunate there, and that's probably going to seal the fate of the Bohemians. And he's used his catapults actually pretty effectively, leaving them there because it actually keeps them from being able to form up any kind of good shield wall, the heavy maceman that is. And Adrian Fox actually sneaking his what's left of his bodyguard unit in behind this catapult next to the wall and getting right in behind all of the macemen as well. But I think they have broken at this point, which is unfortunate. Macemen down to 58. Just wanted to check to see how many of them were left.
Our allies' general is dead.
And I believe that is the boss's general who's dead. So now the only general who is still alive on the battlefield is the Hungarian king himself. But let me tell you, he will save a lot of cash by not having to pay thousands of Cumans in the taking of this city. But I think they've broken through now. Yes, they have. So there's only 2 units of archers still left, and this 1 depleted unit of halberdiers of the late period that is going to have to move in and hopefully, you know, break all of these units. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But look at this. Just over 500 men left in this siege battle for the attackers. That is huge. Over 6,000 of us sieged Skalitz, and the Bohemians slew all but 500 men. And it actually may be even closer. We'll check in the last like 20 seconds of the battle here. But we've got the halberdiers moving forwards. Hopefully they will form up. Yes, it looks like they were able to form up, but Sigismund is not interested in charging the halberdiers in a frontal attack, which is probably a good idea. So he's going to flank around. And Azrian does see that, and he does try to form up his unit to face the other way. But they're not going to be able to form up in time, unfortunately. And, oh, a big charge there. Yeah, no mercy indeed by the general. And there he is over on this side, throwing down the last of the Bohemians. Oh, and taking an arrow through the shoulder, but still fighting on. Very brave. Sigismund will conquer this, but he does have some war wounds. And let's take a look. Yeah, 470 men. And I kind of just want to keep it on here just to kind of see the final man count. But the crossbows are holding this unit. This unit here of heavy macemen from DeBoss. We've got a unit of Pavencier moving forwards to the other side. But yes, it looks like 474 men still left alive in the Siege of Skalitz. Let's go ahead and take a look at the results here. So, looking at my army first, looks like I deployed the most, but I probably did the least. My Cumans guardsmen doing nothing. My macemen getting low kills. That was mostly my fault, just getting them into poor positions. My heavy macemen I did pretty well with, I would say. Most of them getting decent kills, and my archers also pretty solid. And I even got 43 kills with my bombard. I think I got a few choice shots against the crossbowmen. Looking at the boss's forces, general, 77 kills. This axeman 103, which is good. 153 with this unit of heavy macemen. But he did much better with his archers. And this unit of cav here, the Cossacks, 218 kills. And Hamdog, he moved in at the very end, but that still didn't stop him from getting a decent amount of kills with most of his units. Even his crossbows, 113 kills towards the end. But Azrian Fox's force, the brave general there, 122 kills. Wow, 336 with this halberdier unit. That is really solid. It's kind of a mixed bag with his archers because, again, it was a little hard to micro against 3 attacking armies, but 273, 175, 182, 273, 191, so still doing really solid there. And a couple of his cav units doing well, but these 3 did not, because I think those were the ones that were moved in against the Hungarians early on. So that's a lot of extra money. I think that if he had had these 3 units of cav in the center, or maybe 2 more units of heavy macemen, he actually would have won the battle, which is crazy. And 388 kills with his general. Wow, you can tell that was a long recording with his catapult. Oh, not his general. This isn't Medieval 2. Anyways, guys, hopefully you did enjoy the Siege of Skalitz. If you would like to see some more kind of custom scenarios like this, please leave some ideas down in the comments section. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. And I will see you in the next one.